Okay, so here we go. Choose the law, I call this one. You have to keep choosing which one is the right one. Calculate the unknown values, round to 2 decimals. Here we go. So you look at this one, you've got 2 angles. Technically, you can find a third one right off the bat, so I'm just observing that. But the first thing that I notice is that these two are opposite each other. That's my pair. So it's sine law for sure. So I'm going to go sine of 56 over 60. And then I'm going to go sine of p. Yeah. Really? So I want p, so I need to find angle p. Let's do that quick. And that gives us 52, right? 52. So we go sine of 52 over p. You know what? I'm very proud of you in this, that you get your cross multiplying dividing right. That's the number one complaint that teachers normally have, is like, they don't know how to cross multiply and divide. But you do. So do this. Just go. Way to go. Way to go. That's 5703 centimeters. You get 2 marks if you have that. Let's do B, solve for angle Y. So we want this angle right here. Okay, question mark. So what law are we going to use? Cole's law, right? Cosine law, because we've got side, side, side. Okay, that's not the law. This is just helping you determine that you're going to use cosine law. And in this particular case, I'm going to go for angle Y. So cos Y, plus minus, I want that side back here. And then the other two, make sure you square the top. 2 times 11.3 times 9.9. So you get a mark for this in my books. You do the top gives you a negative 142.94, and the bottom is 223.74. Okay, that's all good. Angle Y is cosine inverse. Notice what I do now. I just go Y. As soon as you do Y, cosine inverse needs to show up on the other side. And you do this in your calculator, so please, can you just try this? I want to make sure you get the negative in there. So I can go minus on mine, divided by 223.74. So you get negative 0.6388, and that keeps going. Angle Y would be shift cos equals for me. Good? Yeah. If you need to go, you need to go. Okay. Next. What law am I going to use here? Side, angle, side, right? There's no way to get a pair. So this is cosine law. I find that the letters are best for cosine law, to identify cosine law, in my opinion. Good morning. What is this? I'm trying to solve for L. L squared is going to be 16.2 squared plus 9.1 squared minus 2 times 16.2. Sorry guys, this is messy. Cos of 70. I do not like this, but there we go. L is taking the square root of all of this. Enter that all in one shot if you have a good calculator, and by now you should know how to use yours. Take the root of that, you get 1563. Okay. So 2 marks for this, 2 marks for 2 marks for each of these questions. Okay. So you get 6 in total. And now the funnest one of all, down there. Question 2. Okay, so we've got our gargoyle on top of the building. At a distance away from the base of the building, he estimates that the angle of elevation to the gargoyle is 40 degrees. So we are here at the beginning, and it's 40 degrees to the top. Perfect, we got that. Then he moves 20 meters closer, so we move 20 meters in. We're here now. Estimates that the angle of elevation is 60. Right, so this is our angle of elevation. We always measure from the horizontal, okay? Same with depression, we would measure from a horizontal. All right, how high above the ground is the gargoyle? So ultimately, we want to know this, okay? I don't know if I told you this before, but when you have multiple triangles, you can write this down like multiple triangles, right? That's this case. I will focus in on the one that has the most info, and then I'll find the side that is shared between the triangles. That's usually what I do. So I will call this X, solve for X, then I'll move to this triangle to solve for H. And there's a right angle at the bottom here, because the height is always measured at a 90. So what do we know here, folks? Pay attention to this one. If this is 60, then this is 120, right? And if this is 120 and this is 40, I can find this one. I will do sum of triangle, right? So I will go 180 minus 120 minus 40. Help me out, mental math folks here. 20, right? 20 degrees. So I know that this is 20 up here. Angles, honestly, they're like a ripple effect. You find one, you find the other, and it's just, right? So fill it in with as many angles as possible. Do you have a pair? This one is paired up with, it's hard to see, but it's this side here. Sorry. These sides are opposite each other. So it's sine law. Sine of 20 over 20. Not a good choice of numbers, but hey, it happens. And then I'm going to use sine of 40. This 40 will solve for x. This is very similar to the tree question on the quiz, by the way. Okay, I just don't break it down. So cross multiply and divide. Maybe you looked at this one when you solved it. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, cross multiply and divide. You get 37. Oh, the 4 decimal rule here, right? 20 times sine of 40 divided by sine of 20. 37, 5877. And we are in meters, right? Yeah. I'm going to break this down. I now know the orange part. Okay? So you do this all over again. Right triangle. This is the 37, 58 dot dot dot. This is a 90. I'll use the 60 here to figure out the height. So we've got a pair here, and this pair is also a pair, but I don't know the H part. So I'm going to go sine of 90 over 37.5877, and then I'm going to go sine of 60 over H. So H is cross multiply times sine of 60 divided by sine of 90. I can make this work. Okay. And sine of 90 is just 1, so this is 3255. And we are in meters. This is the ultimate question, the ultimate answer. So this page is out of 9. How are we going to mark this? Hold on. Honestly, let's be fair here. I would give you a mark for figuring out all these angles here. So 1 mark for the angles that you figured out. Whether in here or if they show up, like if you have a 20 here, I know you did the work, right? Then you're going to get another mark for figuring out, I have to use sine law. Then you're going to figure out for the final answer. Okay? And then I'll give you another mark for actually finding the height. So we're going to make this out of 4. So let's say this. If you found out the height, you get 4. Like there's no other way you could have possibly done this unless you are a genius, which you could be. Could be. I'm not. So 10. This page is 10 now because of that. Oops. Backside. Okay. So boater sends an SOS call, stranded on a point of land. Gord receives the call and determines that the boat is 3.2 kilometers away from him at a direction 42 south of west. If this messes with you, all you have to go is see like, oh, it's right there, right there. Meg is at a station 5.8 kilometers south of Gord. So, right, this will be going south, and there's the 5.8. That makes sense. Okay. How far is Meg from the boater? So we're asking this. Let's call this X for now. I'm just going to call it side X. That's what we're trying to find. What should you be doing here? The 42 is not going to be used for any calculations in terms of side lengths, but we're going to find this here. You see the 90 here at there's a 90 being cut, so you just go 90 minus 42, that gives you 48. You get a mark for that, okay? Definitely, for the 48 appearing there. What kind of scenario do we have here? Side, angle, side. We've got the sandwich there. You okay back there? This is a classic here. Sine of 48. Morning. This is not sine, right? This is cosine. So just make sure you get that right. X is root of. I feel like I'm at a party where I'm the only one having fun. Is that, do I sense it right? That's okay. I'll leave soon. 4.36. So you get 1 mark for the 48, 1 mark for cosine, 1 mark for final answer. So 3 marks there. Don't forget the root. If you forgot the root, take off 1, okay? If you didn't square root. If it's not showing up, but you just came up with it, I would take off half today because you're not showing that step. What is the angle at Meg's location? So this is so angle M. You can use cosine law but I'm going to use sine law, okay? Pay attention to this one because it may or may not show up on the test. Wink, wink, hint, hint, right? Sine law to find an angle. So I have a pair here, so I'm going to use that. Sine of 48 over 4.36. If you use cosine law, that's fine. Maybe copy this down to have a sine law review. Then I'm going to go sine of M, right, over this side because they go together, and that's going to allow me to solve for this angle there. Sine of M, please don't forget that it's sine M, it's not just M. That'd be 3.2 times sine of 48 divided by 4.36. All of that gives you 0.5454, and that keeps going. What's the next step, folks? This is the crucial one. Angle M, you're dropping the sign, inverse. Angle M is 33.05. You get 2 marks for it. 1 mark for using sine law or cosine law, and 1 mark for actually figuring out the final answer. We're almost there, guys. Next, Mariah sees an angle, an eagle at an at an angle of elevation of 32. So there's the 32, makes sense. Kumar spots the same at an angle of elevation of 78. So that 78 is at this corner. They are at ground level, 250 meters apart. Everything checks out, just as the diagram is indicating. How far are Mariah and Kumar from the bird? So X, Y. You go ahead and do that. How would you do this one? Does the height mess with you? Dashed lines tend to mess with people, right? So don't worry about it. Focus on the big triangle. Let's figure out this angle up here because that pairs up with the 250. So this is a pair which will allow us to solve for X and Y. So angle E is 180 minus 32 minus 78. Okay. So the angle at the eagle up there would be 70. You get a mark for that one. If 70 shows up, you get a mark. This is a pair, right? So sine of 70 over 250. This would be sine of 32, let's say, would get you the y here, the distance between Kumar and the eagle. So it would be 250 times sine of 32 divided by sine of 70. And y gives you 140.98. Is it meters? Sorry, meters, not kilometers. So Kumar to eagle, just to make sure. And we repeat this process. I at least did. You could use cosine law if you wanted to, because you have the side angle, right side angle side on this corner to solve for x. So sine of 78. Should this side be longer or shorter than the previous one? It has a bigger angle, right? 78 is bigger than this one. So we're expecting x to be longer. 250 times sine of 78 divided by sine of 70. That gives you 260.23 meters. So that would be Mariah to eagle. If you can be clear on your labeling on these ones, that would go a long way. So let's redo the marks. It's not going to be 3. It's too much work for 3. 1 for the 70. 1 for sine law to solve for the first missing side. And then 1 for the answer. So 3 already. And then we'll give you another 1 mark for doing the second sine law and figuring out the second missing side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total for this one. So 5, 2, and 3, so that'd be 10 for this back side, okay? 10 in total for the back side. 10 for the, was it 10 for the front? I don't want to flip yet because some of you are copying. You go for it. You copy this down. I will give it back to you. Okay? Smile, guys. You're graduating this year. Can you believe it? 10 and 10, so that's 20. So change the total out of 20, okay? Name and last name, please.